I don't make mistakes. I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better!
So I finally finished watching Gen V and it was incredible. The Boys is already one of my favorite series of all time, and now we have a Boys spin-off series that resides at the same level of prestige television as the original series. Prime Video in general right now is just killing it with its superhero shows. It has a deadly triple feature with The Boys, Gen V, and Invincible. And yes, I'm caught up with the second season of Invincible, and it is just as good as the first. It's impressive that shows like Invincible and Gen V are experiencing such great success and glowing reception during a time when the rest of the comic book / superhero genre is at an all-time low. DC is a mess, just like they have been for the better part of the decade. Marvel conquered the movie business in 10 years, and all DC has to show after their first 10 years is an abandoned cinematic universe, and at most, like, 2 or 3 good superhero movies. Oh, and, you know, Marvel didn't make The Flash.
Yeah. I'm man.
Even Marvel, the cinematic giant that we all thought was untouchable, is struggling right now. Basically every project they have released recently has been dragged through the mud by critics and diehard fans alike. And at best, fans are optimistically cautious about the future. I mean, Jesus, The Marvels is their lowest grossing movie ever. Marvel is lost right now.
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
All of this brings forward an interesting question. Why is Amazon seeing such success with its superhero content in a world where the genre is currently on life support? Well, the answer is quite simple really. It's because Amazon isn't working in the superhero genre. They are working in the anti-superhero genre. Okay, sure, Invincible and The Boys are superhero shows with literal superheroes in them. They are, by definition, superhero shows. But they don't exist in the same genre as anything you see in the MCU or DCEU. God, that name sucks. Well, okay, maybe Peacemaker exists in a similar space, but we'll get into that later. When I say that series like Invincible and The Boys exist within the anti-superhero genre, I'm not talking about series that feature anti-heroes a la someone like Punisher or Deadpool.
No. Wait. Wait.
I'm talking about shows and movies that do not like or support superheroes. If the superhero genre paints heroes like Iron Man and Superman as gods, sometimes literally, then the anti-superhero genre paints heroes like Homelander and Omni-Man as absolute degenerates. But I wouldn't expect any less from a show based on a comic book by Garth Ennis. When I say that a show or movie is anti-superhero, I don't mean that the project outright hates superheroes. I'm saying that it rejects the archetypes that we commonly see in mainstream superhero content like in the MCU and DCEU. Basically, anti-superhero media takes its characters to places that mainstream superhero movies and television would never dream of. Marvel's version of pushing the envelope is something like John Walker beating a guy to death with Captain America's shield.
Oh, scary! Oh, shiver my timbers! Shut up, man!
Whereas a show like Gen V pushes the envelope every episode. If you want to know what I'm talking about, just look at the opening scene to the show. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen it.
Hurry!
I'm not simply saying that anti-superhero content is different or better than something like the MCU because it's way more darker and violent. It's because the genre explores subjects and ideas that regular superhero content doesn't. One of the biggest complaints about mainstream superhero media is that it's extremely formulaic and sterilized. Yes, it's lazy to just make predictable popcorn movies, but if you want to watch something more challenging, there are plenty of other movie options. But now it's getting to the point where it feels like there is a new superhero movie every week, and people are starting to get sick of it. We are oversaturated with superhero content where every movie and show roughly consist of the same themes, structure, and narrative. I don't want to see Ant-Man, Shazam, Blue Beetle, The Flash, and every other superhero movie that came out this year all in the same year. It's this onslaught of stereotypical superhero shows and movies that makes a show like Gen V feel so fresh and groundbreaking. It's why similar shows are seeing such success while mainstream superhero content is struggling to maintain a consistent audience.
Today. Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god! What is that?
The anti-superhero genre is providing refuge from an exhausting barrage of stale superhero content. These shows are basically hijacking the MCU and DCEU fanbases by giving them superhero stories they haven't seen before. These stories are groundbreaking because they are exploring themes and ideas that mainstream superhero media is too shallow to venture into. Yes, people see the point of difference between something like The Boys and Marvel as the ultra-violence, sex, and gross-out shenanigans. And while that does do enough to make these shows a great reprise from the gutless action of the MCU, it's the themes and characters that make these anti-superhero projects really stand out compared to every other superhero flick. Marvel movies conceptually boil down to a simple concept: good guy fights bad guy and good guy wins. Yes, they have other themes and ideas, but they are all shallow and they never really do anything too drastic or unexpected. This is coming from a guy who actually liked the Marvels, so don't think I'm just riding the MCU hate train. My point is that when this good guy bad guy dynamic is the core focus of every superhero movie, people start craving something different and original. In comparison, Gen V is a superhero show that follows a group of young superheroes studying at a superhero high school that uses its characters and setting as a catalyst to explore modern day social issues that plague real world young adults, to the point where its characters are used as metaphors to examine real world issues. Marie cuts herself to use her powers, and Emma's powers are accessed through an eating disorder, and Jordan... well, you get the point. You get your ultra-violent superhero action and it's great, but the lasting appeal of the show is its smart writing and its superb handling of real-world issues through the lens of superheroes. Even a more straightforward anti-superhero show like Invincible still separates itself from mainstream superhero media by opening up its so-called superheroes.
Ah! Shit! Fuck me! Shit! What the fuck?
To real critique and conflict. Every single Marvel superhero is basically perfect. Iron Man can do no wrong, Captain America can do no wrong, and they always save the day. MCU heroes are gods. They don't suffer through things that ordinary people like them would. In comparison, every single hero in Invincible is flawed in some way. Mark Grayson is a teenager that is struggling to find his place in the world and lacks self-confidence. Adam Eve wrestles with the idea that maybe her powers aren't really how she should be helping people. And Omni-Man... well, okay, he's a straight up monster, but at least he's different. The point is that Invincible's characters are far more interesting compared to those in something like the MCU because they are broken in some way. You still get good old superhero action, but there are real consequences and personal struggles that make for compelling stories. The anti-superhero genre is constantly one-upping studios like Marvel because they are doing the controversial and exciting stuff that Marvel refuses to touch. It's these points of difference that make the anti-superhero genre so appealing to long-time comic book fans. Well, that and it's just a breath of fresh air to see so-called superheroes be absolute degenerates. When we are also sick and tired of Marvel heroes being shining examples of demigods, it's cathartic to see Homelander and Soldier Boy ripping and lasering people in half, in a twisted way. Anti-superhero media is booming right now because people are sick of regular superhero media. People like their Superman with a little bit of psychotic maniac mixed in nowadays. It's kind of like how grunge killed hair metal back in the 90s. Nobody wanted to listen to Twisted Sister after Nirvana put out Nevermind. And just like grunge, it's the rebellious and contradictory nature of anti-superhero media that has helped it destroy the mainstream competition. All this being said, Marvel and DC have been trying to think outside the box lately. DC saw great success with Peacemaker, a show that goes out of its way to make fun of superheroes and by all accounts is brilliant.
There, you see, Batman doesn't kill people.
Because he's a pussy!
He's a dark creature of the night.
He's a jackass!
Like Green Arrow?
No, not like Green Arrow. That dude goes to brony conventions dressed in the back half of Twilight Sparkle with a 4-inch wide butthole drilled in the costume.
An Aquaman fucking fish.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And Marvel is even dirtying up its brand a little bit. They released the R-rated Werewolf by Night in 2022, and are even releasing the mature-rated Disney Plus series Echo next year. Oh yeah, and they're also making Deadpool 3. Although one can't help but wonder if the success of series like The Boys and Invincible are what got projects like these greenlit in the first place. But that's enough from me today. Now I want to hear what you guys think. Do you love shows like The Boys and Invincible? Are you sick of Marvel and DC right now? Let me know in the comments below. As always guys, stay safe, stay happy, and stay healthy. I'll see you all in the next video.